Welcome to Cars in Korea. I introduce newly released Genesis Hyundai and Kia cars. The car I have behind me today is a full change Kona EV. And I pulled out the camera real quick and it's currently about midnight here, and also it's negative 10 degrees. It's even lower than that. It's gonna get lower now. And I know it is the car that you guys wanna see, not my face. So let me give it to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the fully changed Kona EV. And for the record, I actually spotted the N-Line version of this car, and a couple days ago, literally, Hyundai just released the official photo of the full change Kona, and with that, all these cars from the lab actually have gotten rid of the camo, and they are actually doing the real world test. And that's the reason why we see a bunch of these cars running. All the cars are actually scheduled to debut next year, starting in January with the ICE, that's the petrol engine. In March, we'll get the hybrid. Upcoming May, we will start seeing this EV. So I really had to come down here to capture this car, and I bet there's not that many video of the actual Kona EV on the web just yet. This really brings me back. It was the same case for Hyundai Ioniq 5. I first spotted the actual physical car, the real world IRL version of Ioniq 5, and here I have Kona EV again. I want to go over the design of this real quick, but for your information, I actually have covered the Kona N-Line literally yesterday. It was less than 24 hours ago. I even haven't touched up on the edit yet, but I just had to drive down here again to spot this. So I don't know which one will make the upload first, but there will be the full change of Kona N-Line as well as the EV. Uniquely to Kona EV is this rear tail light, and do you see the difference? It's that there is the regular tail light here, but in the middle is the pixels that we have seen from the Ioniq brand. So obviously it's not only limited to the Ioniq, but it is the EV of Hyundai, and this is called pixelated seamless horizon lamps, and it's also found on the skid plate at the bottom. Well, it is just a little bit of an indentation, as you can see, on a plastic piece, so it's not much of a unique compared to the taillight here, but there is also that pixel here. So now your question and curiosity from the official photo is solved, and we will see a whole bunch of battery packs laying down there. Rumor has it will have the same thing as the Niro. Come over here, take a look at the wheel, and I personally think this is the most beautiful wheel out of all three. That is the ICE and also the EV and also the N-Line. They all have different wheels. The ones that I've actually spotted myself have the actual wheel that was on the official photo. It has a different wheel compared to the N-Line, which I am inserting just right now. You see, this has the square and also what? A pixel. Of course, a pixel. Pixel on the wheels too. They formulate a beautiful design, pixel within circle. A brilliant job that they have done. It's the same design cue as the N-Line version. It has a lot of aggressive long character line that just starts, well, I should say it starts from the fender over there. It's actually the front bumper that I should be capturing, which the character line, he starts all the way from the front bumper, literally, and it's carried all the way to there, and it's also rising with the belt line, as we can see, quickly rising up, and it's connected all the way through the spoiler, and the whole thing is wrapped around, as we can see. And for your information, any two tones and any off colors that we see here, this is not the final production model. This is pre-production model. This car is from the lab, and it's actually doing the real world test. That's why it's out here. But well, the design is actually what we will get. However, the official photo suggests that the color will be body matched to the cladding and the body. This is the brake light, and this definitely is the reflector and turn signal and reverse lights. And looking at the profile of Kona EV, that triangular shape and also this character line here is the one that we've spotted on Ioniq 5 as well as Elantra, the latest Elantra CN7. Tabooed triangle design in a car. But we see that Hyundai is now boldly using that triangle design even on Kona. as well. I really like how they are getting so aggressive and creative with the design. There are just so many design that was never used and tabooed by the design industry. I'm going to point out also this portion here too, but I'll get back to that later. And it's super cold out, so please bear with me. Poor audio, anything like that. And also the lighting, I'm just trying my best with the lighting I brought. That is also another point. A lot of design merge here, and also this bold cladding here. And Hyundai calls it the armor design. Guess where they come from, and with that name, certainly does look like those armor types. It makes the car look robust and stand out. You see, as for the design, especially the front, you may think the design look all alike. Be it the N-Line, the hybrid, EV, you name it. That is actually because Kona, this time, started off with the EV first. So unlike the other way around for the predecessor, where they invented the ICE first, and then later on put on the EV variant out of it, it's the other way around. So Kona this time, a full change in 6 years. Hyundai started developing Kona EV first from the bottom up. Hence, they came up with and formulated this design first, and the rest came after that. It's also the charging port is located up on the front. I know some people just don't like that and prefer to have it on the sides, just like the traditional vehicle. Some people actually do favor that, especially who has their charging ports in their personal garages. All you have to do is just open up the door and just park straight in and plug it in, right? And so depending on the country and your personal preference and also condition, that might be a plus, that might be a minus, that might be a pro or con. So let me know in the comment below if you actually do like that or not. Honestly speaking, me being here in Korea, I prefer one on the sides, but definitely there are plus for the charging ports up on the front as well. We can see that there is the pixel in the grills as well. Even little tiny plastics here has the pixels here, and also the bigger squares wrapped around it. It also has pixels. So now if you see a pixel, that means Hyundai EV. So I almost want to say that this could be the baby version of Ioniq 7. There are many predictions on the future design of Ioniq 7, but this Kona EV will definitely provide more cue and hints towards the future EV of Hyundai. And I personally can't wait because I am personally really waiting on Ioniq 7 myself. So I actually do like this design a lot. And I've seen the Kona N-Line less than 24 hours ago, as I have stated in the start of the video. But just seeing this design again in person, it's absolutely gorgeous. The car is now the largest and biggest compared to previous Konas. And this full change Kona actually is about the size of a Tucson, not the current one, but the one before. So every car is now getting bigger and bigger. And the only downside, or maybe something that Kona was lacking to its competitors, i.e. Kia Seltos here, was the size. But that is actually now almost gone. Even with all that put together, I think Kona will put up a great fight. And as for the internal combustion engine Kona, that will be pretty much similar to Seltos, that will come with the 8-speed automatic and all. I will go over that ICE Kona pretty soon. I should be getting a review on the car in about a month. But this Kona EV, once again, I will actually see a final production model in May at the earliest. So I just had to come out and show it to you in person. Oh, it's freezing cold. But I love my job. I hope you guys like today's video, and this really brings me back that moment of me spotting the Ioniq 5. So the suspension, no big surprise. I think it looks almost the same as the one I spotted yesterday, Kona N-Line, but of course it could be different. However, you know, I'll be actually inserting another footage right now. So let's compare it. And the tire size, wow. I'm actually personally surprised right now. Kona EV gets a 19-inch wheel because N-Line actually got an 18 yesterday. It's 235, 45, 19, and square setup all around. Same size on the rear. And where are you? Of course, 235, 45, 19. If it's the same case, this should have a slotted disc as well. Yes, it does. And with a good one-pot brake. Technically speaking, this seamless horizon lamp is actually first seen on Hyundai Granger, which I have fully reviewed up of here, so go check it out. But you see, that car is a flagship of Hyundai. But Kona being the CUV, the baby SUV in the family, she also got this seamless horizon lamp as well. There is no disconnected line, and hence the seamless horizon lamp. Well, just only imagine what this would look like on the daylight when the DRL is actually turned on, and also during the nighttime. And the charging port is actually very, very big and massive. Says loud and clear that it's an EV. It seems like it's going to be open 24/7. And so there we go. This right here is the active air flap, which would open and close accordingly, as you can see right there. So when needed, that portion would open up to cool down the radiator and also the battery and whatnot. Now definitely the moment that we've been waiting for, and that is the interior of Kona EV. And it has the 4 dots in the middle of the steering wheel. That's actually the Morse code of letter H, hence representing Hyundai. And it seems like that is the same thing for Granger as well, and it's also found on Kona. 3-spoke wheels, and it's a little hard to see. I am zooming on it right now. Of course, we don't see anything, but it's actually that 12.3-inch monitor. It gets 2 of them, and Kona actually has the identical UI that's used on Granger. Once again, let me make it clear, Granger is the flagship of Hyundai, but the infotainment system and the display, you get the same thing for this entry-level CUV. The reason why Hyundai does that is because now Hyundai can provide an OTA with all their cars in Hyundai. A little hard to see from here. It should be sticking out, maybe no. The gear shifter is now a column type, which is attached right behind the steering wheel, so we don't see anything in the middle. We get a huge space. The center, as you can see, there are cup holders there. There are other buttons in the middle where you can change the different drive modes and all. I want to just make it loud and clear that it is what we saw on the official photo. So charging ports we see over there too. Unlike Granger, it doesn't have a different display solely for the AC. However, there are many physical buttons, and I think I personally do like and favor that over a display. We will one day probably go full display, and like some of the cars out in the market are currently doing, I actually do prefer some of the physical buttons for, the frequently used ones. What about you? Tell me in the comment below. Let me see if I can get some better shots on the other side from the passenger. I should probably have done this first. It looks much more clear and brighter. Once again, this is the interior. Let me go to the other side, see what I can get. I mean, just imagine seeing all this seamless horizon lamps on the streets, because we'll get that on the next full change Sonata as well. So right from here, we can see that there is the column type gear shifter, the buttons that I just talked about, physical buttons, the button type. So we can see clear there's the EV start and stop button, and other buttons for the navigation system and infotainment system. And down below, the USB charging ports and all. And there we go. The drive mode is a rotary type as well. Just simply twist it around to select a sport, normal, eco, and probably snow if there is. That button seems to be a little unclear at the moment. There we go. Auto hold. And the rest is just the parking assist as well as the parking camera. This is actually what I really want to point out the most. There is the storage on the front passenger seat side. That was actually found quite a lot on the earlier days. I'm talking about 80s and 90s. However, with more strict safety regulations, that portion was gone because it was quite intrusive to the airbag on the passenger side. But it seems like Hyundai solved a puzzle to that and brought back that extra storage. And one thing I'm missing here is, of course, the ambient light, which will be found over here, as well as that will wrap around the seat and is carried all the way to the driver's seat. And that I should be able to show you on the ICE version in next month, so stay tuned for that. This is the Granger that has the seamless horizon, as I have mentioned, and it's implemented here. Once again, this is the flagship this is the most expensive sedan in Hyundai. But the Kona got the same seamless horizon lamp as well as that infotainment system too, right there. So don't miss it out. I have a full review of this car, and if you want to know more about the infotainment system that is connected with the OTA, make sure you go check out the Grandeur video for that detail. So that is the 4 dots that we also saw on Kona EV just now. So I actually have parked Grandeur right there with Kona EV, so I can give you some kind of an idea of what that seamless horizon lamp would look like when it lights up. Well, of course, it's gonna look a little different because that is pixelated seamless horizon lamp. You get the idea. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Hyundai look. Alright, so that really is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed Kona EV. That's been fully changed after 6 years, as much as I did. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe and like Cars in Korea. And definitely come back to my channel for more videos on newly released Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia cars. I'll see you in the next video.